Just like Chelsea Football Club, social media fitness is absolutely massive. But unfortunately, nerdy science-based lifters and optimal bodybuilders are starting to take over. But luckily, I'm here to stop it. This is why I decided to make this video where I react to popular science-based and optimal bodybuilders and some of their worst takes. Also, if you're tired of this science-based nonsense and want to start building muscle and conditioning while training like an athlete, be sure to check out my Aesthetic Athlete Academy. If you click the link in the description, you get a free trial of my private community, free workout routines, free cardio routines, and a free consultation call with me. Be sure to claim your free gifts down below. Before I get into the first stupid bodybuilder, I do want to clarify that I am hand-picking takes that I don't agree with. So just keep that in mind and understand that these creators don't always give bad advice. First, we're obviously going to start off with my boy, Marlon Israetel.
That stretch is insane.
I mean, what the fuck is this? That stretch is insane, man. Are we stretching here or are we lifting weights? Like, what are we doing? Just because you can get this much range of motion doesn't mean you should. I also swear Marlon just does this to get clips and doesn't actually think it works. I'm not sure if Marlon is trying to hit the lats or the chest here, but both are terrible options. If he was trying to hit the lats, Marlon fell into his own trap he created, which is the more you stretch a muscle, the better. Just because you stretch a muscle more doesn't mean it's more active or that it will grow more. In this case, getting this much shoulder flexion is terrible for the lats because they don't have good leverage here. This is why I use a cable when doing this exercise and get much less shoulder flexion, like 120 degrees, to hit the lats better. So because this exercise is terrible for hitting the lats, let's just assume that Marlon was trying to hit the chest here. Is this a valid exercise to hit the chest? In my opinion, no. First, bro is arching the fuck out of his low back to give the illusion of more range of motion, so don't get fooled by this. And second, this exercise is just not the best option for your chest in my opinion. Bro can't use very much weight because he's going through an extreme range of motion, and most people really struggle to feel this exercise in their chest, which is why top bodybuilders don't use it for it. If your goal is to isolate your chest, I think a chest fly variation is far better than doing this. It will lead to better chest growth and you won't look like a dumbass in your gym.
Losing muscle could cost you your life. Muscle isn't just for looking jacked. It's also one of the most powerful predictors of how long you'll live. And today I'm speaking at Harvard Med about why having bigger biceps could save your life. You see, your muscles not only stretch and contract, they also act like a sponge, pulling sugar out of your blood. This keeps your blood sugar stable, which lowers your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even some types of cancer. And people with more muscle don't just live longer, they also live better. Lifting weights stimulates your brain too. This sharpens your memory, your focus, and lowers your risk of dementia. It also strengthens your bones, which reduces your risk of fracture. That could be the difference between walking and a wheelchair. But here's the best part. It doesn't take much. Even just 2 full body workouts a week can help you stay strong to keep doing the things that give your life meaning. So keep lifting. Your future self will thank you.
Okay, so who at Harvard Med thought it would be a good idea to invite lazy bodybuilder Jeffrey Nipples to give a lecture at Harvard Med School on health? They're putting the school's reputation on the line. Is Jeffrey wrong here? No, but he definitely doesn't preach the healthiest way to train. Don't get me wrong, there are a ton of guys worse than Jeffrey, but he doesn't necessarily train for wellness. While Jeffrey is correct that strength and muscle are important for longevity, Jeffrey's training style isn't the best way to do it. Jeffrey often promotes the use of stable exercises like machines, taking the core out of the movement by bracing against an object, or even bracing against the freaking ground. This training style won't improve your balance or stability as effectively as free weights, which will make you more injury prone outside the gym. Jeffrey also mentions bone fractures, and yes, lifting can help with this, but guess what improves bone strength the best? That's right, free weights. Free weights require you to stabilize the weight yourself, which recruits more muscles and places more mechanical stress on bones, especially in weight-bearing areas like the hips, spine, and legs. Gym machines often provide more support, which reduces the bone-loading stimulus. So when it comes to bone strength, free weights are far better. Jeffrey discussing health also makes no sense because dude only talks about hypertrophy, specializing in one thing, so hypertrophy and weightlifting here isn't the best for health. If you want to improve your health, you want to be an all-arounder. And one thing I know Jeffrey knows nothing about is conditioning. Humans are naturally aerobically driven. As humans were originally hunter-gatherer creatures and were required to run and walk long distances to get food and other supplies. So it's important to make sure that you have a great aerobic system. Because Jeffrey never talks about conditioning, he likely never does it, or he has poor conditioning because he does a few cardio sessions here and there. If you're talking about exercise to improve your health, while muscle and strength are important, the aerobic system is just as important, if not more important, and has to be mentioned. This is what Harvard Med gets for inviting Jeffrey, not the #1 fitness influencer on YouTube. Here we got Marlins Rattel's boy Aaron Janicki, and I can go into detail why I think this guy is an absolute idiot, and I will go into detail. This guy jumped onto the stretch and super deep range of motion train, likely not because he thinks it's actually effective, but because he knows that these exercises will get more engagement and clicks on Instagram. Let's be honest, you're more likely to click and engage on a video where someone's doing some crazy exercise than someone doing a simple bench press and preaching the benefits. Aaron knows this, so he shows off a bunch of crazy exercises and often trashes on basic simple exercises to get more engagement. I'm sure Aaron knows that the basic and simple exercises are what actually are effective, but again, he knows it won't get as much engagement on Instagram. And here we got Aaron shitting on amazing exercises. Aaron tells you to stop doing standing bicep curls, standing hammer curls, and standing barbell curls. Because of course, it's not like these exercises have been used for decades and have been super effective. Aaron essentially just recommends alternatives where it emphasizes the stretch position more, and you have a pad to lay on to eliminate the momentum, and probably because this dude has the aerobic system of a couch potato, so he needs to sit down. Now the exercises he recommends are actually pretty solid, minus the exercise at the end. I mean, you're never gonna catch me doing that shit in the gym. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're inherently better than the basic exercises. They're just different. You shouldn't just be strong in the stretch position. You want to be strong in the mid-range and shortened position as well. And you also want to use a variety of different exercises because your body responds well to variety. You also don't need a pad to eliminate momentum, you donut. If you're standing up, which is more functional, but I'm sure Aaron knows nothing about this, you can use something called, I don't know, your core to eliminate momentum, and you'll get a stronger core in the process. If we use Aaron Janicki's logic, dumbbell lateral raises are a terrible exercise and you should never do them again. An exercise doesn't need to have peak tension in the stretch position or isolate muscles perfectly to be effective. If it challenges the target muscle enough throughout the range of motion, integrates stabilizers like the core, and fits your goals, it can be a great movement. Again, these exercises might lack peak tension in length and position, and they may not isolate a particular muscle the best, but they excel in real-world strength carryover, joint friendliness, core and stabilizer activation, and my favorite, functional muscle growth. Now we got professional man-child TikToker TMF, and again, what the fuck is this? Dudes in the comments are calling this exercise 3 sets of throwing it back and 3 sets of yeah daddy. I remember one time I was playing basketball, and if you guys are wondering how good I am, I'm pretty much the Lionel Messi of basketball. But I was about to jump and I was thinking, what's the best technique to jump higher? And then it hit me. Let me try and jump without using my hips and only moving my knees. That'll work. This might have been an ass example, but my point is that this is an awkward movement. Like, it's clearly very unnatural and it's just a trash version of a squat movement. A squat is a primal movement pattern and it trains your hip extensors and knee extensors how to work together. And if you're base and you're doing a free weight variation, you'll get strong legs and a strong core in the process. My favorite exercise obviously being a barbell back squat because of how loadable it is. Now I know what you're thinking, well, what if I just want to work on my quads, man? I don't care about my hip extensors. I personally just spam compound exercises for my legs because I don't really care about training individual muscles, and I'd rather train movements because I know it'll help me move better outside the gym, and then I'll end up hitting pretty much all the leg muscles I need to hit anyways. But even if you want to exclusively hit your quads, I think this exercise is absolutely retarded. First, you'll get bullied in your gym, and second, it seems like an incredibly hard exercise to load up, especially once you get stronger. In my opinion, if you're trying to exclusively hit the quads, I would say a leg extension is a far better exercise because it's far easier to load up. Never thought I'd be advocating for leg extensions, but when someone creates a weird exercise like this, I have no choice. Now to the final science-based / optimal bodybuilder in this video, and of course it's another TikTok man-child RPG. It takes a different kind of idiot to make a video about functional training and just show yourself doing a bunch of machines. This dude one time released a 2-minute long video crying about me, so I'm gonna try and be nice here. He's right in that doing circus acts in the gym isn't functional, and that it's important to train functional movement patterns, but let's not go around saying that machines classify as functional training. There's always a big argument as to what classifies as functional training, to where idiots idiots like this guy try and bend it to their advantage. Every form of exercise can technically be considered functional. If I gave a lazy couch potato leg extensions, he would probably be able to get up from his couch and grab a snack better and walk to the kitchen better. But does that mean that the leg extension classifies as a functional exercise or classifies as functional training? Heck no. If you give someone who's living a sedentary lifestyle any kind of exercise, they're gonna get better at doing pretty much anything. Functional training is training that will improve function at an optimal level. Emphasis on optimal. Not just improve function to some degree, because like I said earlier, if you give a lazy couch potato any kind of exercise, they're gonna get better at doing pretty much anything. Do machines improve function at an optimal level? No, which is why they don't classify as functional training. Using this idiot's logic, Bosu ball squats can be considered a bodybuilding exercise because they can build some muscle. You see the flaw in this logic? Functional training doesn't mean circus acts like he said, but it also doesn't mean spamming machines. Ironically, functional training is essentially right in the middle of these two. Functional training is heavy compound free weight exercises where you are training functional movement patterns with a realistic level of stability and getting strong at them. I don't even know why this dude is trying to make the claim that bodybuilding is functional. Like if he claimed, hey, bodybuilding isn't functional, but that's not the point, that would be way more valid of an argument than going around saying that machines are functional, or in this case saying that machines are just as good for athletic performance as free weights in the caption by misinterpreting a study like an absolute idiot. Now that I've calmed down, I want to thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about some of these takes, and I recently made a video where I go over some of the funniest gym fails, which you should check out.